everybody, I'm Ethan.
And I'm John.
Welcome to the review of the 2017 Power Rangers reboot. This is a thing. Who asked for the Power Rangers reboot? I did not.
Well, judging from the audience for this screening, some people definitely did.
A lot of people definitely did. I didn't grow up, before we get into the review, I didn't really grow up with Power Rangers. I saw it once, like at a car wash, and then I saw some weird clips online of like the Power Rangers beating up a pumpkin man. Jonathan put the clip in the video. And that's like all the experience I've had, but I can respect Power Rangers' like dumb, campy, fun nature and some cool action sequences that it had for the time. John, what's your experience with Power Rangers?
Power Rangers, I actually kind of did grow up with it. I mean, I don't want to say I grew up with it like it means so much to me, but I do remember watching a lot of Power Rangers as a little kid, and I feel like it's one of those franchises that's kind of really overrated, and people only like for nostalgia. I almost feel the same way about Garfield, even though that's a weird analogy.
Yeah.
Like, it's something that people always look back on very fondly. I think it's very good, when really, it's not that good. There's not a lot to it, but I was still open to it. I understand the very campy, fun, bright sort of thing they go for with the Power Rangers franchise. So I was, not expecting much, but had high hopes going in. And I gotta say, I was really, really disappointed with this movie. This movie wasn't even fun in the way I wanted it to be. And I think the number one flaw with this was that, okay, when you're going into a Power Rangers movie, you just want to see cool stuff happening.
Yeah.
You just want that feeling of, oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, you were equating this to people go to see Transformers for the little tightness in their chest whenever there's a cool action sequence, so you can feel like, wow, that was just so cool.
People go to see
awesome.
Like, them suit up and the morphs fight each other. And there's almost none of that in this movie. The first hour and a half, I would say, maybe hour and 40 minutes, is almost entirely just teen drama.
Yeah, and while you could say that that should naturally come to a Power Rangers movie because you're trying to focus on these characters, I didn't like most of these characters. The only one I really cared about was the Red Ranger, Scott, I think that was his last name, and the Blue Ranger, Billy. Those were the two that I only cared about, and it just so happens that those were the best actors because most everyone else was okay to not so great. The Black Ranger sucked. Didn't like him.
Yeah, I'm hearing a lot of people give this movie praise for how much kind of care it lends to the backstory, and I can see that, but that doesn't work for two reasons. Because A, it cuts out all the action that you really want. It is kind of more fleshed out than the usual movie would, but it's way overdone. And B, these are not really good characters. They don't have chemistry, they're not good performances, the dialogue isn't really done well. I mean, it has its moments with the characters, it's not like god-awful, but it's really just not a compelling group of kids.
The only time I would say that you care about these characters are when they're fully morphed, they're in their suits, they're in the Zords, and they're working as a team. And I gotta say, when they do that, that's when you start like having fun with them. Sometimes they have like kind of funny dialogue, sometimes some comedy hits, but most of the time it's just really boring, like you said, boring teen drama.
And even when the action does come in around the very last act, maybe last
I would
half
say
hour
and 40. Hour and 40.
Hour 40 it kicks in.
Yeah.
It's not even really very good action. I mean, look, you can't go wrong with big robots fighting each other.
I mentioned this to you, that it's very hard to get big characters fighting, so I'll give it that. I had fun, like, in the last 20 minutes, I'll say.
But the action's pretty bland, I think, for the most part. There's nothing really interesting in terms of effects. There's no interesting choreography. It's just kind of bland, big-scale monster action. I'm
actually going to disagree with you a little bit there. I had a lot more fun with the action compared to the rest of the movie, where it's just dark and brooding, and there are some tonal inconsistencies. I'll get to that later. But it's much better compared to the hour and 40 minutes of what we just had. So it was a nice little break from that into some, I would say, some kind of fun action. It's at least a cool spectacle to see the Power Rangers fighting people. So I'll give it that.
One thing I want to mention before we kind of start wrapping up. This is a weird thing to say. This movie's really poorly lit. Like, the lighting's bad. I remember in the big scene where they all finally morph for the first time. Yeah. They're kind of coming out of their lair. The music's playing. It's like the big scene where you finally see the Power Rangers
it's the big shot.
Together. It's like the big shot. And they come out and you can barely see them. They're very dark. You can't see them.
I'll give it that's for the first couple seconds, and then once they get in front, like very close to the camera, that's when you can fully see them lit.
I mean, maybe.
But yeah. No, you can see them. You're wrong there.
You can see them, but it's still too dark.
Yeah, the colors do take a long time to get in. Very minor thing compared to...
It wasn't that minor for me, honestly. I know it sounds like a minor thing, but it was consistent. There were a lot of scenes where I was like, I can barely see what's going on. They're trying to... I remember another example.
Yeah, I remember this,
The scene where they first find the cave. not the cave, the big spaceship or whatever that's crashed where they go get their suits and stuff. That scene, that's a big scene too, right?
Yeah.
They're you're getting this whole spectacle of seeing the ship, and it's poorly lit, so it doesn't create that spectacle. It doesn't create that sense of wonder of, oh my gosh, what is this? Because it just doesn't feel big. It just kind of feels dull.
Yeah.
So, Ethan, all in all things considered, what are your thoughts on the Power Rangers movie?
I was surprisingly hyped going to Power Rangers, even though I didn't grow up with it, and I have the Power Rangers shirts.
Well, they gave us this, and it's a cool shirt.
They gave it to me because I was actually feeling hyped going to Power Rangers, but I gotta say that I'm pretty disappointed coming out. Granted, I didn't grow up with it, like I said, but I would have loved to see some actual cool characters that I cared about doing some real cool action in just a real cool action movie with big Zords and fun action, cool characters. And we didn't even mention, but the villain was pretty nothing.
The villain was awful.
The
villain was like unwatchable.
Rita Repulsa,
maybe the worst
just kind of like
actually.
The villain's around and like I touched people and things happened. It really wasn't what I wanted at all. I'm just disappointed by Power Rangers, the 2017 movie. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 2 out of 5 stars.
Guys,
I'm a little more lenient, but what have you got?
I really didn't like Power Rangers. I was going into it hoping for some good, bright, campy fun. I really didn't get that. I got a lot of teen drama with bad actors that don't have chemistry and are poorly written. I got a villain. We didn't talk about how bad the villain was. The villain's really bad. I feel like the villain is them trying to bring in a campy element in a movie that otherwise takes itself pretty seriously. I got bland, boring action. I got jokes that were unfunny. Overall, I mean, this isn't an awful movie.
I think if you're a Power Rangers fan, you might just get like more enjoyment out of this.
I will say, if you're a big Power Rangers fan and Power Rangers is just like your thing, you may still find some enjoyment out of this movie just from the fact that we're getting another big screen adaptation of Power Rangers. But honestly, I don't really see a lot in this movie. It's not terrible, it's not unwatchable, but overall I was really disappointed with it. I thought it was really dull and bland and had a lot of elements that were really awful. So I'm going to give it 1.5 out of 5 stars.
So guys, what did you think of our review of the 2017 Power Rangers movie? Remember, if you like this video, you can subscribe. You can also hit that like button as well. If you want to get some merch, you can get that at cafepress.com/Stubmasters. You can follow us on Twitter @Stubmasters, and you can follow us on Instagram as well.
@Stub_Masters.
There you go. Guys,
posting a lot more there now. A lot of cute pictures.
Guys, thanks for watching. I'm Ethan.
I'm John.
Have a great one.
Power Rangers sucked.